and welcome back to The Bigger Picture. I'm Kiara Montero.
And I'm Matthews Frank. Here at The Bigger Picture, we're all about recognizing organizations on campus that you may have never heard of. So, Ozfest is coming up, y'all. Ozfest is literally next week.
I hope you guys got your tickets because what are we going to be? We're going to be outside. Enjoying good music, good tunes, and then also like a whole day full of events. I feel like that's a really good way to kind of like ease into finals week, kind of helping students get their mental health together, uplift them before we're just drowning in finals.
Yeah, because me personally, the day of Ozfest is like a field day for us. We have the little fake carnival set up, the free food, Party Next Door. Like, I'm excited for Party Next Door.
No,
like,
yeah, me too.
At first, when he was announced, I was like, okay, cool, Party Next Door. But as we get closer to it, I'm like, yo, we're getting Party Next Door. Hold on.
Yeah.
So,
Fun fact, actually, my housemate, I'm not really good with music on my own, so my housemate puts like playlists together. So she has a playlist for me, and she's been putting a bunch of Party Next Door songs, so she's getting me ready for the concert. So if you guys see me there on the concert floor, don't be surprised, because I've been prepping.
It was just like last year with Ari Lennox. Like, I only need like one Ari Lennox song, but it was like the vibe of being in a concert. Like, that was an actual concert. It was like,
good,
yeah, it feels good. It feels like a celebrity's right in front of you.
That's actually one of my goals for like 2023. I want to go to more concerts because I've noticed like in the past with like the 1 or 2, 3 concerts that I have been to, it's just a very free spirit feeling, and I feel like everyone deserves that. And the fact that the school kind of provides us that for the last day of classes, I feel like that's pretty dope.
But you know, you just mentioned that that's the last day of classes, which means our time in Oswego is coming up.
It's ticking.
Yep.
Graduation's right there.
Yep. So I feel like this is a great segue into talking about like who are we really gonna miss the most leaving Oswego? Like, who were those faculty members that were there for us through thick and thin?
Well, I have 2, and there's 2 different, like, I guess, aspects of it. So definitely my APC advisor from EOP, Scott Cunningham, literally one of my best friends since I've been on this campus. Like, I feel like there's very limited people that are, you know, there for you on, like, as a student. And then also Francisco Suarez, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
I just love being in his classes. I feel like his classes always validated that I'm in the right major, and it's very hands-on. How about you?
For me, I have a whole list of people. I have, now I'm blanking out. Okay, so I have from the EOP office, Valerie. Much love. I also have Miss Magdalena Rivera. She's been like every time I overthink or panic, she's always there for me to like tell me like, you're good, you got this. Also, Michael Pastella, he's the same thing as Maggie. Like, both of them keep me like solid and make sure that like I'm not overthinking too much.
Especially because you're involved in the Lana orgs.
So many Lana orgs, but they've been helping me. Like, they're the reasons why I keep on going with Lana orgs. And then I feel like last will definitely be Miss Roberta Hurtado. Like, she's my advisor for my minor, but even before she was my advisor for my minor, she was like a big reason why I joined LSU, because she was the advisor at the time. So it was like,
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she got me into it. Yeah.
Okay, so actually in tonight's episode we are going to be meeting with another great faculty of the Oswego community. Stay tuned. Before we even get into that, we're going to talk about some upcoming events that you should attend if you find yourself looking for plans.
So you guys remember that one episode with Image, the Big Steppers, right? So Stomp the Oz showcase is slowly approaching. By slowly, we mean tomorrow night. Join the Image Step team tomorrow night at 6:30 in the Morano Campus Center Arena for a fun night of stepping and plus a bunch of more performances, plus a great host, I heard. Tickets are now live. They're running out. Please be sure to get yours. I got mine. You got yours, Kiara.
I sure
We're
did.
going to be there. So we hope to see you guys all there tomorrow night in the MCC Arena.
I heard the Bigger Picture co-host is going to be performing.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, join the Latino Student Union and the African American Male Empowering Network as they present their 2nd annual field day happening this Friday at 3 p.m. in the field right behind Lee Hall. Drinks and snacks will be sold along with the reveal of a new e-board and the presentation of stoles to the graduating seniors.
Oh, but wait, there's more. There's so much more. Okay. This Saturday, join the Latino Student Union as they present their annual barbecue happening this Saturday again from 11 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at Lakeside Commons. Free food, entertainment, games, all of that will be provided, as well as a new e-board being revealed and the presentation of stoles to the graduating seniors. Please get your free ticket on the Latino Student Union Eventbrite site in order to eat.
So, I know you guys heard it a lot. This Saturday, campus is the place to be. So, also happening this Saturday, we have the Caribbean Student Association presenting their annual Backyard Jam inside the Deborah F. Stanley Arena and Convocation Hall. This event, there will be a performance by Caribbean artist QQ, as well as scenes depicting a Caribbean wedding. So, regular tickets at the moment are $15, and ticket plus food packages are $20. So, don't miss out on that.
Yep, we'll be there as well. We'll be everywhere this weekend. But stay tuned for After Break, as you'll be joined by a very, very, very familiar face from the Oswego community.
Who is it gonna be?
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTLP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTLP.
La 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 la.
Free.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Freeze.
Welcome back. Tonight we are joined by Lisa Evaneski. She is the Title IX coordinator here at SUNY Oswego. She has worked in higher education for over 34 years, serving primarily in Title IX, student conduct, new student orientation, and residence life. Title IX is also in charge of SUNY Oswego It's on Oz. It's on Oz is an organization prevention of sexual and interpersonal violence at SUNY Oswego. They host a number of workshops, volunteer opportunities, and community services.
Welcome, Lisa.
Yes, thank you for coming.
So
This
happy
has
to
been
be here.
a long-awaited episode. I
Yes,
just want to
it
say that.
is. So let's jump right into the questions.
Do it.
So first question up is, so many students know who you are, and we see your face every day, and we love to see you. So let's hear about your upbringing and your story.
Oh boy, my story. Well, I in college was an RA. You want to hear like way back?
Way
or
back.
way
Take us
back?
back.
Okay,
Take
let's
us
go
back.
way back. I was born in Oakland, California.
Oh, wow.
Moved to New England with my family when I was about 13. Went to college and grad school in Boston.
Okay.
And then spent about 20 years of my career in Boston and surrounding suburbs. And then moved to New York back in 2007. Worked at another SUNY for a little bit of time, and then I started working here in 2008. My favorite job ever.
Wow, and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
So for those who just may not be too familiar with Title IX, what role does it serve on all college campuses?
Sure. So yeah, Title IX is a federal law. Requires colleges to do certain things if there are reports of sexual and interpersonal violence. But there's also all kinds of other stuff we have to do, like prevention programming, training for staff that have certain responsibilities, just awareness raising all across campus so people know how to find me, who I am, what do I do, and what can I do to help you if something's happened.
So I know you mentioned you had worked in one other SUNY before
Yes.
Oswego. So before working at that SUNY, were you familiar with like Title IX coordination and job roles along those lines?
Right, good question. So Title IX really became a field back in 2011. It had always been in place since 1972, but it became a thing in 2011. And it's when Barack Obama and Joe Biden said, hey, colleges, you need to do a better job at this work. And they put out this thing called the Dear Colleague letter. That's really what kicked off Title IX. It wasn't really a thing before. It was a law, but it wasn't a field. It wasn't a profession like it is now.
And not prioritized how it is now in college campuses.
Yeah.
Okay. So how has your discovery of Title IX policies on college campuses led you to where you are today within your career?
So yeah, it was a really funny journey. I'd done some res life stuff and conduct and different roles in different campuses, and I actually was on the newly formed Title IX committee here, just helping with prevention work, helping with just figuring out policies. Do we have everything in place that we need? And then I just kind of became part of the team, and back in 2013 was named Title IX coordinator, and then moved to the president's office in 2015. So yeah, it was kind of crazy. A lot of people that are in Title IX come from either conduct, lawyers, or HR. That's where like most of the people started coming from. Now that it's a field, people I know, like even students here, kind of get into it and like want to pursue that as a career now. But it wasn't really a thing before. We kind of just literally fell into it.
So how was it like? So you did mention like you worked in res life or something like that. So how was that experience like from going from res life to Title IX?
Yeah, so
and how did it prepare you too?
Yeah, it definitely prepared me. I think working in all the different functional areas I worked in, like orientation, not here on this campus, but res life, student conduct, those are all ways to like figure out how campus runs, what do students need, what are they kind of looking for support, really, how to survive what you're going through, right? Basically, it's hard. College is not easy. So I think all of that and having experience in res life and all those other departments really helped me prepare to be in this role, because if somebody needs help with some of those areas, I can help them get that connection.
Okay. And I would assume even now being on campus, you do a lot of work with residence halls. What are some other like departments that you work with on campus?
Yeah, so I work a lot with res life, doing programs, doing training, but also helping student orgs kind of get things done, right? So doing workshops with them, partnering, collabing in any way that they want to kind of help their students learn about Title IX, help them get their annual mandated training.
I was just going to bring that up. Because, what else to say? Oh, yeah. I know from the organizations I'm a part of, we have to do those trainings, and I have to tell you, those trainings are like really important. Like they have a lot of information that my e-board at first, it was like, oh, do we have to do these trainings? And then when they do it, they're like, wait, okay, hold on. I see why we're doing it. And so, I appreciate that. I appreciate those trainings. They come in handy.
Yeah, it's really important. We have done things very differently here than most other SUNYs and most other campuses across the country. We just went right into it and wanted to make prevention normal, make prevention fun. That's why we have so much swag, and we're trying to be like, we want you to know this because we want you to be able to help your friends. And so that's really been a focus of what we do. Instead of just being like, here's the federal stuff we have to tell you, we're trying to engage people, in the activities.
The Kahoot games. I remember the
Kahoot
games.
Yes,
I remember
tons of prizes.
So I know you've mentioned you've done work with like student organizations. I know even WTOP does trainings with you as well. So what has been the biggest lessons you've learned from working with students, and what role do your interns even play in that success and the impact that you're creating on the campus?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think for me, one size doesn't fit all is really one of the things I've learned is, work with the orgs. What do you think your community needs? What do you think your students need? And really trying to tailor some things. We have some canned programs like Kahoot Trivia, but we also will modify anything and try and have discussions that are most meaningful to you. And the interns help with all aspects of prevention and training, so they will work with me to help create tabling activities or workshop activities, and then be there and help us kind of facilitate the conversations.
I love the fact that you mentioned how this school, a lot of departments, they tailor to what we need, and like they listen to us and they take notes of what we need. I mean, it even shows when we get those surveys we get on our email that asks us questions like, what do we need, what do we want? It literally helps. It comes out at the end like as a benefit for us. So
Yeah,
that's a
absolutely.
big important part right there.
They even post it on like the SUNY Oswego website. Recently, I'm an intern for OzPeerEd, and like I was doing research for an outreach, and I saw that there was so many like resources and statistics on like I believe it was the College Climate Survey, and like these are things I believe go out annually as like SUNY as a whole. So even the fact that they're taking our experiences to kind of cater to the needs of the students and just to create a safer like space for us on campus. And I think one of my best rewarding experiences working, having a workshop with you was actually the one we arranged with WTOP. It was discussing like sex discrimination in the workplace and considering, you know, we want to go into the field of broadcasting, production. These are real life things that happen. So I feel like the workshops that we do with you kind of equip us onto how can we handle these situations, how do we advocate for ourselves, or even just changing that narrative now. I feel like it plays a really big role too.
And I think we also have looked into things like women in STEM, what are they dealing with? How can we prepare them? How do we prepare our men, you know, that are going into those fields to help them help the women in those fields, you know, because it really is, it's all of our problems, right? We all, it's on all of us, as we always say, you know.
So before we jump into the next question, Yards for Yardley just passed, actually. So if you mind, for those who don't really know that much information about them, just give us a debrief of what's that about and all the work you put in for that event.
So Yards for Yardley, we did our first one in 2015? Yeah, 2015. And it actually was originally started, some students at 2 different campuses, not SUNY's, created this contest. They were trying to see who could get the most yards for Yardley. So Yardley Love was a student at UVA. She was killed in 2010, and then her family created the One Love Foundation, and that is where they help us educate. Some of these workshops we do came from them. And so one of my interns from 2015 said, we should do this thing. And it was like literally like end of April. And we had like 2 weeks to plan it, and we did it. And our goal was to try and get 1 million yards for Yardley in one day. And we got 1.67 million in one day.
And the fact that you guys had to put it together so
so fast,
spontaneously.
like it was like mid-April, I think. And then so every year since then, this past one was our 8th annual. Every year since then, we've been doing it. The most we ever got was 8+ million yards in one day. That's when we were doing the SUNYAC challenge. So we were like, Cortland will not win. We will win. So, but yeah, yesterday we did it. We had to go inside because it was cold and rain. But we did 1.74 million yards.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So my favorite question. So let's give you a little scenario. So if you had to sit down for lunch for any historical figure, activist, celebrity, whoever, who would that person be and why?
Oh, well, I probably have a different answer every year if someone asks me that question, but definitely Ruth Bader Ginsburg. RBG, notorious RBG. She had done so much for women. I don't know if you know this, but like before she came around and helped fight for women's rights, women couldn't even get like their own mortgage or lease on an apartment without a cosigner from a husband or a parent. And so she put a lot of things in place in the workplace, a lot of things to give women's, you know, to expand women's rights all over their lives. So I would love to talk to her about her youth and kind of how she got into it and how she got so much done. I think that would be really cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Kiara, do you have anybody you would like to go out for lunch with?
My answer is always the same, Bell Hooks. I love Bell Hooks. I feel like she really opened my mind to a lot of just like feminism and just speaking up against the patriarchy, trying to change that narrative for women like us, but also younger generations. For my little cousin, for, you know, I was gonna say my little sister, I don't have a little sister. But kind of just like being that person that we need. And I even to tie into that, I feel like the role you play or your interns play or like OzPeerEds on campus, we have some type of activist activism in us, because we're trying to like create that space for students on campus, kind of spark those conversations. So
yeah, I hear that a lot.
You are an activist here.
Well, yes.
So.
When students interview for our internships, we hear that a lot. Like, I ask them, why Title IX? Why do you want to do this? And they'll say, you know, I feel like this is something I should participate in. This is something I want to participate in. I've always wanted to get involved, but didn't know how.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I feel like I change my answer to this question all the time, but right now, if it was up to me, there's this famous actor. She's in like all the Fast and Furious movies. What's her name? Michelle Rodriguez. Yeah, she's in all the Fast and Furious movies, and I would definitely go out to lunch with her just because she's a badass woman. I'm just gonna say
totally is.
She's a badass woman.
She's fierce.
She literally tells it how it is, and she will never let no man put her down. Like
Totally.
she will stand up for herself. I like that about her.
Yeah,
and that's
she's amazing.
what we need.
Yes.
That's literally what we need.
Totally.
So we will actually continue this incredible conversation with our final questions after the break. So stay tuned.
Break.
Free.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
And it could be your last chance to see one occur for 2 decades, as the next time one will be visible over the continental U.S.
He's May 84. Yarrow told police in the hospital that he had pressed the doorbell and waited.
They mix with oxygen and nitrogen. They become briefly
Welcome back. We are joined by Lisa Evaneski, our campus Title IX coordinator. So for those who remember our very first episode, revamp of the Bigger Picture, Oz Anonymous, I don't know, we were actually joined by student organization 2.5. So we really kind of just want to hear from you. What does that organization and its members mean to you?
Yeah, so I've been collabing with them for as long as I can remember doing this work, even when I wasn't Title IX. I think the work that they do is so important, bringing attention to, you know, just even the stats. The name of 2.5 comes from, you know, a stat from back when they first started. I think the work they do is incredible. I feel bad sometimes. They're doing so much good work. Like I feel like I should do it for them. But no, I think they're, you know, really important. We try and collab every semester if we can, depending on our schedules and what we have going on. They've been incredibly supportive of my work, showing up for It's On Us Day, showing up for Yardley, even back when we were doing SUNY's Got Your Back. So I don't advise them, I don't supervise anything they do, but I 100% appreciate the work that they're doing. And even if they're, you know, in a financial situation where they maybe ran out of money for their budget or whatever, I'm totally down for like helping them, you know, buy supplies if they need it, you know, for an event or something. But yeah, very important organization, and so happy to continue to collab with them year after year.
What can those collaborations look like between your department and the 2.5 organization?
It varies. So sometimes I'll do specialized training for them. Sometimes we'll just show up at their events. I often list events, especially special events or traditions that they're doing, list them on my intern list of things to do.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
they'll get hours for going and just supporting their programs. We also, we'll show up at, the Raise Your Voice, or we didn't this year because our schedules were messed up, but or the walks that they do, things like that. So it really just depends on what they have going on, what we have going on, but we 100% support the work they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So considering your work focuses on sexual and interpersonal violence, I'm sure you deal with a lot of heavy conversations on a daily basis. So this is the part where we ask, how does Lisa take care of Lisa?
Not very well currently. I just actually got approval to hire a person, so now I'm going to have a second person in my office, which we've never had. So that's a little bit pushing for that position. Is Lisa taking care of Lisa? This semester, I will say that I tried to structure. I used to have this thing where I would say, I don't say no, like to you guys, right? I'm like, of course I'll be there. I'm exhausted, but I'll be there, right? But I've been trying to structure a little bit better with my schedule. So if I know I have night stuff, I'll come in a little later, or work from home, so it doesn't feel like a longer day. But yeah, I'm working on that. I'm not perfect at it yet, but I'm definitely trying. For me, being there for our students that might be in crisis, it's so important. But I do have to take care of myself better. So that, I'm trying. I'm trying, to balance out if I have night programs, just to maybe spend the mornings at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a work in progress. It is for a lot of us. So what resources are available to students on campus if they're not too familiar about it, but who may be experiencing some things that they're having a hard time speaking up about?
Sure. First of all, the most important thing I can tell anyone is if you want to meet with me, it's just a meeting. It's not a report. We're not going to tell your parents. We're not going to tell the police. We're not going to tell the dean. We're not going to tell your hall director. So that's the most important piece about the resources in my office. We can help people with their classes if something happened and they just need a little more time to finish something, or if they need an extension, on something, or an excused absence or something like that. We can help people with referrals to counseling or health services on or off campus. We can help people with financial pieces of things, right? So if something happens to someone and they lose a few shifts at work, we can maybe take some money from a fund and give them a little ease, So there's so much we can do. Every case is different, but we can help people survive something horrible that happened.
I actually have a question, because I actually learned recently that there's a difference between confidential and non-confidential people that you can talk to on campus. So would you be able to give a little bit of clarity about that for anyone watching at home?
The only official offices on this campus that can keep confidentiality are health services and counseling.
Yes.
Everyone else is what we call a private resource. So if you told me something happened, but you needed me to maybe get you a different room in Res Life, or, contact your supervisor and say, hey, please don't fire this person because they had a really legitimate reason for losing their shift. That makes me a private resource, because I'm going to talk to someone without having a signed release.
Okay.
But most people on campus are what we call private resources. They're going to tell me what you told them, but they're not going to tell everyone else. But yeah, the only confidential resources we have on campus are health and counseling.
Okay.
I feel like a great way to wrap this episode up is if you can give one piece of advice to any student watching right now, what would that advice be?
Oof. Okay. This comes up a lot. I would say just ask for help. We have so much we can do to help you survive the semester without failed grades and without, lots of debt or whatever. Well, maybe not debt, but without, kind of tanking a whole semester. So ask for help, even if it's late, ask for help before the last day of classes, and there's some stuff we can do.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best things about having a resources like your office. So on behalf of everyone, we just want to thank you, and even just coming to talk to us today, you're continuing to make that impact in the campus community, just allowing people to hear from you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Everyone needs to remember that piece of advice, ask for help, because I'm one person who I struggle to ask for help, but sometimes it's necessary, so definitely ask for help.
Yeah.
But it's the end of tonight's episode, so we would like to thank Lisa Vanesky for joining us on tonight's episode of The Bigger Picture. Don't miss out on our farewell episode of The Bigger Picture, happening on May 9th. As always, don't forget to see things through the bigger picture. See you guys later.
Good night, guys.